Kike Rezio, it's been a while since we last talked. Let's try to understand more than anything else, to understand what Arbeloa can do, not what we want, but what Arbeloa can do. And what options does he have regarding that starting 11 for what I've called the Munich final, because that's what it's going to be. The season could end on Wednesday, no less. And the only thing I know for sure is that Lunin will play as goalkeeper. How are you, man?
How's it going? Hello. Yes, it's the final, all or nothing, and where Arbeloa, what I at least asked for regarding the starting 11, the approach, the match. It's a typical cliche that you and I have asked for. Well, we've been asking for it for a long time. With Xavi Alonso, we asked for it. With Arbeloa too, that he stays the same, that he picks a lineup where he feels proud, where he doesn't feel forced into things, where he feels a certain comfort with that system, with that team structure. And then football will put you where you deserve to be or not, but you, right?
What happens is that in football, we've seen so many ways to lose.
We've seen it at Madrid. We've seen many.
He went down in his own style. He lost in a sporting way for the other one.
The bets or not.
Of course. Or because, well, in the end, he gave in to the pressure from the club regarding certain players and so on. It ends up forcing you, etc. We've seen a lot of those. And the tough thing for Arbeloa, and now let's get to the starting 11, is that he's had to deal with all of this. Why? Because there's a sports corpse right next to him, who's also his friend. That's Xavi Alonso, who says, damn, this guy, as good as he is, because I still rate Xavi Alonso highly. By the way, in England, they're fighting over him. Let's see this coming year, who he coaches. I think it'll be Liverpool, but well, we'll see. He says, damn, besides, he knows him well. This is my friend, a very good coach and all, and this guy is serious. And look, he has given in to things that he thought maybe he couldn't give in to, like having to play certain footballers that maybe he didn't want to play but had to, having to put up with the sulking when they were taken off. And then Arbeloa says, as I understand it, putting myself in his shoes, I want to be able to stand by what I've done. I'm going to try to win over the locker room first, and once I've done that, gradually assert my authority as any coach should. But he has found himself in certain situations where he sees that this is very difficult. And now it all comes down to a match in which he can either be himself and dare to do certain things or the opposite, but he's 90 minutes away from possibly messing it up.
Exactly. So those decisions are going to be key for him, but it's true. You've hit the nail on the head in the end. Arbeloa is part of the club's inner circle. He's a club man. He wanted and still wants to win over the group, to win over the key players, those who have more of a role, more influence, and from there, move forward. Then he found himself in situations that allowed him to put together a fairly well-structured block before the break, because it was after the international break. That's when the team started to struggle, and so that's the crux of the matter. What should be done, Miguel? Should the team look more like it did before the international break, like against City, like in the derby, all of that? Will he be able to find that form? We're going to talk about it now.
And of course, before the break, there were players whose starting spots are now even being questioned. And one of them is Pitarch, but that's in the midfield. For now, in defense, who would you put on the right? Carvajal or Trent Alexander-Arnold? Each one has his strengths, especially for this match. If you want a guy with fire, someone you can't just get past, then naturally Carvajal. Futbolísticamente, football-wise, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He gets into trouble in every match because there are defensive situations that make your heart race, but then he gives you offensive solutions that make you say, damn, this is top level, right? Based on those premises, who would you choose?
For me, and it pains me to say this, Carvajal is no longer ready to play 90-minute matches at the very highest level with maximum demands. It hurts because I've always supported his performance. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm sure about it, pros and cons and all. By the way, I want to make a point in favor of Trent. I didn't think he played badly at all against Bayern Munich. In direct duels with Luis Diaz, he did well. He was caught out of position on the goal they scored, but that was due to the Bayern player's forward pass exposing him. Honestly, in fact, for me, Trent was much better than Carreras, just to give an example of the fullbacks. These were different situations, since on the other side was Mr. Michael Ollis.
Of course. Trent the other day against Bayern, it's true that he did well, but he also made a back pass there when bringing the ball out. It was risky, very risky. But well, anyway, you also have to accept that risk. It's true that from what we've seen from him and Carvajal, it's true that Trent is a bit ahead of him there. Let's see, left back. I'm clear on this. It's not exactly what. Wait, let's redirect this. It's not just what we want, but also what Arbeloa is going to do. Although, well, I think when it comes to Trent and Carvajal, it's clear it's going to be the Englishman, left back. Who do you think?
Well, here we are, those of us who love our man Ferland Mendy. I've always been a fan of Ferland. The thing is, injuries have ruined his career in recent years. Even so, you have him a bit higher. I see you put Benjamin Mendy.
No, of course. I mean, no, man, no, this can't be. Of course.
Of course, it's Ferland. Yes. Nothing. Just by default, for lack of other options, and because I'm pro Ferland. Because, right? Like these memes and jokes people make, it's true. I mean, it's like cryogenically freezing a player for key moments, keeping him in reserve because you know he can give you 1, 2, 3 games at the highest level. I can't think of a better marker for Elise right now since he's dangerous one-on-one with his dribbling and ability to beat his man. You have to go with Mendy. Are you willing to take the risk? Yes, because in the end, his injury issues are there. But when it comes to competitive IQ, when it comes to fighting spirit and ability to battle, we've got him, the soldier and the cop.
There are a ton of memes, man.
It's just, yes. There it is. It's petrified. I mean, it's everywhere, man. It's everywhere.
Police, I'm just looking for the one from the grave. When he gets up, I'll do my job and that's it. I can't find him here, damn. Well, but yeah, I agree with you. And besides, I think that's exactly what Arbeloa is going to do because he's not convinced by either Fran or Porvos.
No. Neither of them.
As for the center-back pair, I'm sure about this. I think I know what Arbeloa is going to choose. One is definitely going to be Rudiger, and the other one already rested, obviously, right? Okay, let's put Antonio Rudiger. And the other one. Who do you think? Hausen or Militao, I think? What is it going to be?
Go ahead. Do you think it's going to be Militao? Yes. Look, Militao and Rudiger are a pair that has never really clicked for me. The thing with center backs, Miguel, is that it's a lot like ballroom dancing, you know? It's like a paso doble, a shotis for those of us from Madrid. Everything has to fit together just right, you know? The movement.
Yes. The partnership is very important, yes.
Yes, it's very important. We saw it with Balan, Ramos, many legendary partnerships, and we've seen Puyol with great partners, Hierro with Alcorta. Well, there are millions of examples. The thing is, for me, Rudiger or Militao fits better with Hausen. You have to keep in mind that Bayern is probably the team with the best pressing, along with PSG, in the competition. I understand thinking about defense, and while we've discussed Mendy, you still need someone for critical moments. Breaks Bayern's pressing line for you, and of course, Hausen is objectively the best at that. We can discuss other areas where Dean has improved. He seems more organized and better overall. I think he's going to put Militao in, but because of the fit, it's just that because of the fit and everything, the ones I would put in are Militao and Hausen. That's what I would do, Militao, Hausen. But I think Rudiger and Militao are going to play.
I understand you. Because besides, Hausen hasn't given any reason lately to lose his starting spot.
It's just that I think the chemistry between center backs is a different matter. They fit well together. Sometimes even similar profiles don't fit well together, with a few exceptions. So, but he says,
hey, big game, huge. I already see Militao ready, you know?
For example, Sergio Ramos and Pepe. One always played the ball out well and stayed calm. Ramos was unique in that way. But of course, Ramos was an all-around player. He had the complete package as a center back. Tough, strong, aggressive, fast. But for me, that's very important, Miguel. The combination of the qualities of the center backs. Different qualities fit well together. Sometimes similar qualities too. Like Militao and Rudiger, each with their own nuances. I think he'll choose Militao and Rudiger.
Yes, I think so too. In the end, I want to add a little bit of craziness. For now, let's say no.
No. What you're going to do? No.
Yes.
Yes. You'll pivot to Dean Hausen. I can't believe it.
Let's see. I don't think he's going to do it. That's why I'm going to do it myself, just to see.
Remember the last time someone tried odd experiments in a Champions League knockout round? Let's see if you recall. When was that?
Wait,
You know the match, the New Year.
wait. Is it recent or?
No. Here's a hint. Zidane was the coach. 2021, Chelsea are at the bridge. Vinicius, right wing back.
That's true.
I mean, we told the truth. Damn, how did that go?
It's true. It's true. That's right.
I mean, just to give an example of something that, let's see.
I think that, but that was quite a bit worse than what it could be here. What happens is that.
It seems just as bad to me.
Huh? Yes. I don't think so because he probably hasn't practiced it.
Yeah. But the thing is, Lindhausen can't play as a defensive midfielder for very obvious reasons. And I'm going to explain what my obvious reasons are.
Tell me now. Come on, and then we'll move on.
The thing is that Hausen is a player who really struggles with turns. He's very slow to react. Often you have to receive the ball with your back to the play, unlike as a center back where this rarely happens. For me, it's the most unnatural thing I can see in Real Madrid's starting lineup. On paper, left back might be next. Just kidding. I mean, I don't see it with Hausen.
Okay. How do I get this off now?
With the pencil.
Okay. That's true. Okay, well, look, I'm going to leave it here because I find it funny, okay? But let's move on to the attack because we're very clear on this. Obviously, Kylian Mbappé goes here. And then with the midfield, which is a bit of a puzzle we have to solve there, right? We put his brother in, right?
Watch out, as a surprise, Kylian Mbappé. Hey.
There was a funny meme about the knee thing, joking they operated on the brother instead of Mbappé. Of course, brother, face saying.
But, well, what are they doing to me? Yeah. Well, the Mbappé memes too with the dictator thing and all. It's crazy, really.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I heard, honestly, made me laugh. The thing is, it really pisses us off because of everything that happened this weekend. We're not discussing that now because this video is actually about Kylian getting his other eyebrow healed, right? Yeah.
It just keeps bleeding. Unbelievable.
It's just...
Man, crazy.
Anyway, well, Vinny Jr. here. Okay, well, before midfield. And with this weird thing of putting Hausen here, I've warned people that he's not going to go there. But let's see about Mbappé. Look, in my morning video, I brought up a video of Thierry Henry on CBS. Going crazy. What would Sabina say? Why wasn't Mbappé taking up number 9 positions? And I say Thierry Henry is the one saying it.
He kept wanting the ball at his feet and wasn't pulling any defenders away.
He's his friend. He was about to coach him on the Olympic team. The only thing is that Mbappé didn't end up going and all that. I mean, that's what he's saying. But he runs toward the 6-yard box, right? In situations near the end line and all that. Do you think he'll fix that? Will Arbeloa tell him? Arbeloa should tell him.
It's just that I don't see Mbappé making those changes, wanting to commit to that, you know? Having to sacrifice certain moves for others. As of today, I don't see that Mbappé. When I see it, I'll say it. I have no issue with that. Like Mbappé on the right, he sacrificed the other day to try to break through and do his thing. To try to break through, and it worked out better or worse for him. But in the movements required in the play, in the interpretation of what's needed, and especially the movement to get open going forward instead of constantly and always asking for the ball at his feet, that's something that restricts and is causing conflict within the settled attack. That's how it is. It's a fact.
It's just a habit to sit back. I won't give examples now since I'd have to look them up. I don't have any ready, but people have seen it in my videos and probably in yours about when the play calls for you to make the run. The other day against Brazil, he made the run after Tchouaméni's great recovery.
But there he really has space to run.
And the ball is so far back that he says, well, I'll run because actually here
he runs like a deer. No, that's not a problem for him. The problem is when he has to make a run from a standing start to create an opportunity for his teammate, to create an opportunity for himself and his teammate while stationary.
But something so easy, Kaike, something so easy that he would do so well, like moving to one side and ending up on the other. I mean, near post, far post. Who used to do those moves really well? Well, we've talked about it a lot.
Well, Benzema was an expert at deception and Gonzalo Bueno, each in their own way. He doesn't pick up those kinds of movements and sometimes it creates a bit of conflict.
But if he doesn't do them, no one will.
No. Exactly. So Apparently, he didn't learn much from Benzema either in France, since they're different players. But I foolishly thought that Mbappe would try to become more of a link-up player over time, to play a more mature game in that sense. For now,
It doesn't seem so. Not much to say about these two. Logically, the only thing is that they should score the chances they get, because
it's favorable for them. It's a favorable match.
I agree, it's a good match. Let's move to the midfield because this is the key area, and take Hausen out since your eyes hurt.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, and then we put Bueno in.
Who do we put in?
Sure. Let's decide who to put in. Wait, before anything else, they're discussing it, so let's keep Hausen in a bit longer. All right, let's see.
Fede, there's no doubt. There's no doubt with Valverde.
And I'm going to put him on the right because I think in this somewhat asymmetric Madrid system, Fede can do much more. Besides, he can help a lot in the midfield, of course, but he covers a lot more ground on the right. And also to help Trent, right? He has to be here.
Yes, no doubt. Okay.
Okay, fine. Another one. Come on, let's take Hausen out now.
There are several questions here. So the key points are, will you put Bellingham in the middle? Are you going to put Camavinga in? Are you going to put who in? Of course, Bellingham, Thiago, Camavinga, that's where the key to the matter is. If you put, because I think Arda will go to the left, tucking in from the left. From what I've seen lately from Arbeloa tactically, even though he then moves inside, especially since you also have Mendy, who is able to help a lot in defense. Fede.
Exactly. They don't have to help him. He doesn't have to overlap so much.
So
Vinicius is staying very wide on the right. Whoever plays on the left won't have Valverde's same role on the right.
Yes, it's a bit different, quite a bit. So I think that in the middle, I get the feeling he's going to go with Camavinga.
Of course.
Camavinga is really scary. You have to go and shake things up. That's it.
Okay. I knew it.
Of course.
So Camavinga is really scary. Exactly.
He doesn't have anyone else.
Man.
The thing is, I understand that Camavinga really gets on my nerves right now because of his performance. But I think that the other day, Camavinga came in and Arbeloa wanted to get him going. And I think he wants to get him going. The thing is, of course, claro, what do you do with Bellingham? Because normally now you would say put Camavinga with Bellingham and Galler, and then Thiago would stay on the bench. But what has been leaked is Thiago, Bellingham, and Arda. But I just don't see it, Miguel. Maybe in the comments they'll see it, but I don't see Thiago or Bellingham in a double pivot. I don't see it mainly because we have to talk about what shape Bellingham is in. Besides, he hasn't played in that position with that much movement for a long time. Bellingham played 60 minutes, and by around the 50th minute, he was already exhausted.
Tongue out, yeah.
In 4 or 5 days, he's supposed to be fully ready for 90 minutes, to perform at a very high level against such a physically demanding team, to cover ground, to run. That's what really makes me doubt. So that's the issue.
3 men are competing for 2 spots.
For 2 spots.
And what you're saying makes me think that maybe he might prefer Bellingham for a little later. That would mean putting up with certain things, of course.
I'm not sure Bellingham will start. Something tells me, but I just don't know.
Okay, so do you think he'll trust Thiago to fix the positional messes he always sets up when he goes and tell him, kid, you have to get between the center backs and support them no matter what. You need to do some of what Tchouaméni does, since Camavinga often loses his position. Camavinga is good at intercepting, though he didn't block Imar's shot the other day.
No, and when he's focused, he brings the ball out well without many risks, though occasionally he does take too many. I think Thiago Camavinga is there to fill the midfield with work, mobility, and strength, let's say, to break up Bayern's creative combination play, which they also have. Bayern not only plays on the wings, but also plays through the middle. And for that, the most suitable one, without Tchouaméni, who would be vital, is Thiago. And what do you think Camavinga can add for you? I'm telling you, for me, thinking about Thiago and Bellingham
gives you cold sweats.
No, maybe it works great, but it just seems to me like something a bit outdated compared to the current pretext and context of Bellingham. Bellingham in the double pivot with Thiago?
No, yes. Orwan voted. It's clear. And the kid is going to run more than Bellingham. And above all, he's going to get between the center backs more than Bellingham. He's going to help more in the build-up more than Bellingham.
There are also those 20 or 30 minutes when you need Bellingham for those bursts, ball carries, and runs in behind. I imagine in situations where the team needs to progress with the ball, whether they're ahead or behind on the scoreboard, no. Okay, but that's what I see. And Arda Güler tucking into midfield.
Okay, and Güler, right?
And Güler, yes. I think he should start, and here's why. Some might argue Bellingham could replace Güler and play with more freedom. Maybe yes, but the player who understands the game of passing into space best and the one who can connect Mbappé and Vinicius on the run the best is Güler.
Totally. In fact, my instinct is to put him more here.
No, actually, with the ball, he's going to move inside to try to link up with Vinny and Kylian. If there's a situation with space or a 1-2 and movement, Camavinga will often move towards Mendy's area in case he needs help. Since Vinicius and his tracking back are, well, let's say relative, let's leave it at that, and Thiago, together with Camavinga, will fill the midfield against Bayern's attacks, which won't be few. Because what we also know for sure, Miguel, is that Bayern won't change their philosophy because of the 2-1 scoreline. Company is clear about that. They're going to try to overwhelm Madrid, even if they're ahead on the scoreboard. The team has a unique understanding of football. So, for better or worse, that scenario might not be so bad for Madrid because just like they had chances at the Bernabeu, they'll have them at the Allianz too. But of course, it could be a match where they destroy you and you have to cash in like 3-2. I mean, it's also a match that makes you think about,
is it Triumph or the treatment room? Is it Allianz 2014 or Etihad 2023?
yeah, 2023 Etihad or what that match was like. I mean, against Arsenal at their stadium, kind of like that.
But well, that was the first leg. I mean, this is the second leg where you say, well, you have to get a result. You have to score for sure one more goal than them. Even then, that just gets you to extra time. So you must score 2 more than your opponent, forcing you to. I mean, just to finish, your basic approach is a low block and counter-attacking.
The thing is, the team hasn't worked for long periods with either Alonso or Arbeloa for that.
Of course, Bayern is going to force you to do that.
And besides, Bayern is going to push you that way because of their philosophy. So do it, that plan. But do it right. We'll talk about the future later because Real Madrid, in my opinion, needs new input in many areas. But with the current situation, with the current philosophy, with the current players, with the current coach, and so on, Madrid works with that style of play. It's going to be a mid to low block, trying to win the ball back in their own half, most likely. But, well, when they bring out Neuer, the team will stretch out more. I mean, they'll push higher up. Sorry, but when Bayern moves up from the center backs to midfield, the defense is going to be a defense that moves as a unit, a mid or low block, and the team will have to drop back.
Of course, they're going to force you into that. The only positive is Madrid tends to perform better in those types of games than the reverse.
We have a somewhat comparable example with City. Exactly. A team that you knew you could destroy in open space. Well, that's it.
Well, man, we cross our fingers, say whatever prayers we know, and that's it. See you on your channel to talk about other things that have to do with Madrid's future. Not the immediate future, but further down the line. Because, hey, we need to wrap this up in a way that leads into your channel and basically say, let's get through this and win the Champions League and all that. It's clear changes must happen at this club this summer due to dysfunction in several departments.
There's an alert that's orange for now, but could turn red, and it warns us that Madrid needs a new boost, as the president would say.
Exactly. All right, so with that, we're leaving. Thanks, Kike, man. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to this channel and to Kike Recio's channel, Madridismo al Día, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.